So today we're going to discuss about one more important transformation. It's a web service transformation. Okay. So yesterday's session is clear, right, for you? ACD types.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah, clear.
Okay. So web service transformation. So what is this web service transformation? So how we can web service transformation is nothing but from IICS we can directly connect to the applications. Like if you have Amazon, Flipkart. So you will have so many applications, right? Where transportation applications will be there, like PSRTC, road transport services. If you want to book if you want to travel from one state to another state, you need to book a ticket, right? So for that, you will be having applications, right? Red bus, Abibus. Okay, so these are all the some examples of applications.
Okay.
So in ISS, we can directly communicate with the applications as well. To book a ticket in the form of like to book a ticket for bus or aeroplanes. So in if you take in aeroplanes, we also having so many applications like Air India, Indigo, Air Asia, and Dubai.
Yes, yes.
Correct. So here is not this from IACS Cloud. We'll be having a REST V2 connector. So it will helps to interact with the web service applications. So built on REST architecture. You can use REST v2 connector in a source transformation. So from source we can use REST v2 connection and target transformation. So we can directly connect to target transformation or in between source and target transformation we can use a web service transformation. What is this REST? So REST is nothing but representational state transfer. It is a one type of protocol. Okay. So I think you heard about SOAP connections, SOAP. Do you have any idea on that?
Uh, no,
Okay.
web services generally I know, but
Mhm.
internally I didn't work.
Okay. So it is similar to SOAP only. Now we have a new protocol. It's a REST. So which is an architectural style. REST defines a set of principles to be followed while designing a service for communication and data exchange between two applications. So API stands for Application Programming Interface. Okay. So which is a software intermediarily provided by an application to other application that allows two applications to talk each other. So if you want to establish a connection in between two applications, so we should have a API interface. So a web service facilitates interaction between two machines over a network. How it will communicate? If you want to communicate within two networks, let's say I have now I have a laptop, so I want to communicate with your personal laptop. So how we are able to connect communicating now? So we are using over a network only, right? Without network, we cannot communicate with the other machines. So network is nothing but through internet. So these are essential the services APIs that are accessible over the web. So through web we can communicate. So what is this REST API methods? How it will communicate? How you will be sending a signals or how you will be sending a command to other machines. REST API makes explicit use of HTTP methods. So HTTP method, I think you are aware of this hypertext transfer protocol
Yes, yes.
to make a request over network. So this helps to break a transaction down to generate a sequence of small components. Every component addresses a specific fundamental aspect of the transaction. So this modularity makes it flexible development approach. So majorly this what is this web service transformation, REST connections, SOAP connections, and HTTP protocols? All these we will be using in cloud application interface, okay, integration. So this is now we are in CDI, right? Cloud data integration. So if you want to learn more about related to applications, how it will communicate, how you can create some methodologies. So those will be there in CAI, Cloud Application Integration.
Okay.
So in data integration also, they have introduced one component, web service transformation. So we might be able to connect with the application directly to fetch data. Okay, let's say if you want to get real-time data from application directly. So these are the methodologies, methods we have: get, put, post, delete. What is this get? To fetch the data. Put is nothing but to alter the state of data. It is nothing but updating. Okay. So get is nothing but like select. Put is like update. Post to create data. It's like insert. Delete is normal. Delete to delete the data. These methods we will use in REST applications. Okay. So as I said, how we can communicate with the applications. Okay, let's say this is a client application, client server. Let's say it's our local machine, and this is another application database, web server, which is nothing but it is a service provider. So whenever we want to communicate with another machine, first we will send a request, right? And we will get a response. Based on the request, we will get response. So how we will get this? Through internet, right?
Yes.
Which is nothing but web. So as I said, we can get the real-time data by using this REST API. So let's say you want to book a flight ticket. Okay, flight ticket or bus ticket, or if you want to place some orders, anything. So what you will do here, you need to enter source, destination, and on which date you want to book, and orders, how many orders. So this kind of all information you will be entering, right, to book ticket. So let's say you are booking in Make My Trip application. So this application will be maintaining their own databases. So now we want to uh, book on. So here you will be having many flights will be there. Flight information. Air India, and we have Indigo, Air Asia. So we'll be having many applications. Yes. So these also they will be maintaining a separate database. Correct. So whenever you send a request, suppose you want to book a ticket on Air India, so you send a request. So here if you see, when we connect to the, so you want to book a ticket to the Air India flight, here you will not be having access, right? For that TB access you will be not having. So whenever we send a request, we can just send a request, that's it. So we cannot see, we will not have any permissions to access their Air India database. So how you can pull real-time data? It's not like select star from so this flight info db dot air India tables. It's not like that, right? You cannot directly access their databases. So that's why here we will send a request. Based on the request, here also application will be there, right? So it's like a application to application. So make my trip is a application, and Air India here also they will be having a application. So this make my trip is a third party application, right? Either you can directly go to Air India application, you will be having Air India application. These flights will have their own databases and their own applications also will be there. And we'll be having some more third party applications as well. So Air India, GoIBO. So if you want to use these third party applications, these will not have direct access to access their databases. So this make my trip, through this we will fill all this, and when you click on submit, right, it will send a request to this particular database, particular application. First it will reach to the application. So based on the request, so this application will process all the details. Let's say here you are booking 2 tickets. Here you have some 1,000 tickets. So out of 1,000, if you book 2 tickets, right, so how many will be there in these many tickets will be there. So these will be available. These two booked. So this application again will send back request through web services, and here we'll get a confirmation. Correct. So here 1,998 tickets are seats are available. The same information also it will put in the Make My Trip application. So if you see here also it will show 1,998 tickets are available. So in this way it will communicate. Even though we don't have access to this direct database, so based on the request we send, so application will process that request and send us back the uh, response through web service. Got it?
Yes.
So if you see how it will get request on all things, so this is a client and this is web service. We will send request to web service, right? So here will be like HTTP request. How many methods we have here? Get, post, delete. Yes. Good. So these are all the methods, and based on the request, the web service will process it and will send a response back to the client. It will be in specific format. So this format is nothing but like HTML images or any videos. You want to get in JSON format or XML format. So everything will be there. And then how you will know that whether the request is successful, what is the state of the request, what is the state of response. When you submit a request, you will get a response, right? Or you will be having the statuses as well. Status code 200. This is a status code. If you get 200 okay, then the connection is valid. If you get 404, there will be some errors. So in this way, you will get a status code. Okay, you clear on this topic?
Yes, I'm clear.
Okay. So let's see practically how we can implement this in IICS. So here it is a whatever we discussed, it's all in the document format. You just go through this once, okay, after the class. So web service consumer, web service provider. So web service consumer is nothing but allow you to call REST or SOAP from within your IICS mapping. You can use this to send data or receive data from an external system or application. Provider is nothing but allows you to expose your transformations as a web service. This way you can make the results of your integration available to other systems or applications via SOAP or REST connections. So how to use web service transformation in IICS? So this we will see how we can configure all the connections, how we can create a web service component. So how we can implement this component into your mappings. So we'll see all that. So what is the benefits of using? So real-time data processing and expose data transmissions as service. So these are the use cases in real-time analytics. Use a web service to get live data from external sources and process it in near real time. So what is the difference between SOAP versus REST? SOAP it is a protocol and REST is an architectural style. With REST, more lightweight and generally easier to work within cloud-based integrations. But this IICS supports both different integration needs. So you will be having some authentication. So if you want to authenticate, let's say like if you want to connect this REST servers, So there will be some authentication methods also will be there, like API keys, OAuth tokens, or other authentication methods when consuming or exposing web services. So it's a simple diagram how it will works. So this is a client and this is the web server. Request we will send it based on get, post, put, delete methods. We can use all these methods and we will get the response back to clients, either it is a system or it is a mobile. So which format you requested here, right? In that same format you will get it. XML file or JSON file or videos. So if you are using YouTube, you will send a request, right? You will write something to fetch some videos. So let's say you want IICS interview questions. You entered in that way. So it will send a request to the server, to the YouTube server, but you not have direct access, right, to the YouTube application. So they will be having their application. It will receive the request, and based on the request, it will process, and you will get a response. You will get a video. So API application programming interface. Programming interface, how we will be seeing like, so interface is nothing but you will get a login page here, right? How you will log in into IICS, you will have a username and password. So that is the interface. It's like a login page, web page. All web services are APIs, but not all APIs are web services. Popular REST clients are, so how you will, let's say you want to connect to some other application. So you should get a end URL, endpoint URL. So first we need to validate. In real time, you will get a endpoint URLs, okay, from clients. So first we need to validate it, whether we can able to establish the connection to that endpoint URL or not. So you need to check the status code of that endpoint URL. So you will have some third-party tools to verify that. So Postman is one testing tool, and CURL is also. So when you need to verify that endpoint URL in Postman or CURL. After that, we need to create a REST video connector in IICS, and we need to create a web service transformation. We can use Python as well. By using Python also we can connect. So let's see how we can create web service transformation. So these are the basic mandatory steps. We'll have 10 steps. If you follow these 10 steps, you can easily create a web service transformation mapping. Okay. So the first one is, as I said, you will get an endpoint URL from client. So that we need to verify it. So here I have given a sample API. So I open this. Okay. So what is here is, it is a public user details here. You see here. Uh, so data. So what kind of data is available here? ID is the name, email, is gender, and status. It's like active or inactive. It's like whether he's alive or dead. Okay. So these are the informations we have. Assume that this is an application. We need to get this data and we need to load it into a table. Okay. So let's see how we can fetch this data using web service transformation. So first thing is we need to test it, right? Test the API link using Postman. So what I'll do, so I have already installed Postman. You can simply download this. It's a It's a free version. So what you'll do, you just go to the browser here, type Postman download. Okay, you'll get this. Go here. So it will ask whether it is a Windows or Unix. So this is how it will look when you download it. When you download and logged into this application. So just click on this, it will download it and install into your application, into your local system, and sign in with your email ID, username and password. Okay. So once you download it, so you'll get like this. If you want to sign up, or you can sign up, or if you want to use without signing in, you can use it. Okay, paste the URL here. Just send. Here if you see, so what I'm doing here, what is the method I'm using here? Get method. If you click on this, you will get another methods as get, post, put, patch, delete, add options. So you can use any one of this method. So if you want to update something, you can use post. If you want to insert something into their applications, you can use put. If you want to patch, like if you want to concatenate, so you can use patch. Delete, if you want to delete something on other applications, you can use delete option. The same way head options. Okay. So now what I'm doing is I'm trying to get user details. So that's why I'm using get method. If you see here, this is the status code 200 OK. Standard response for successful HTTP request, which is nothing but whatever the endpoint URL we have, API URL. So it is a valid one. So now we validated. Next, add REST-V2 connection from add-on connector. So in real time, admins will create this. So in interview, if they ask you, you should not say that I can create a REST-V2 connection, because there will be so many authentications will be there. Okay. So let's see.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
Permissions needed.
Yeah. If you say like I can create itself, then they will clearly understand that you don't have
Okay,
real-time
okay.
experience. So now what we have to do, we need to add REST-V2 connection, right? Go to administration. If you go here,
And,
connections.
and we create the same in the regular add new connection once without going to administrator.
No, we'll see here. If you go to connections, click on new
Okay.
connection. So here, if you select type, you don't see REST V2 connection. This I already created. That's why you are able to see. But this is not a normal connection. You have web service, web consumer, but we need REST V2 connection. You don't see here actually. Okay. So that's why we need to get the license for that. You go to add-on.
Oh, okay.
So here we'll be having different connections, right? Cloud connections. Here you need to search REST. Okay, so you will get REST V2 connector. So here you will get start free trial. So I already acquired it. You click on that, then in connections you will be able to see that. Okay, so you want to get some cloud connections, you have to go to add-on connectors, then search here, then you need to start using of that. Since I already started the trial version, if I click here, it will show, it will pop up here. Now I'll create this with user details, right? This is a connection. Now you are able to see REST v2 connector. Okay, so click on that, select runtime environment, authentication. So these are all the authentications will be there. So OAuth, two client credentials, OAuth 2 authorization code, JWT bearer token, API key. So in real time, normally we'll use client credentials or authentication code. OAuth we will use. Okay. So for trial version, we can go with standard. So let's see what we will get if we select client credentials. So you should be having handy access token URL, client ID you should have, client secret code will be have, so access token. So these things you will be having if you want to go with the authentication client credential. So authorization code, so you'll have same, and you'll get some more access token parameters, code parameters, client authentications. So these are all we need to fill. So for basic, you can go with standard. So if you don't fill all this, it's not all mandatory. So only the mandatory fields you need to fill it, like connection name, type, runtime environment, authentication, and then Swagger file path. So before you are going to create connection, we should create a Swagger file first. So what is the third step here? Just you need to add connector. That's it. Don't create. So fourth step is create Swagger file and download JSON file. Okay, we'll create it later. First, we need to create a Swagger file. If you scroll down, at the top you will see Swagger files, right? Click on this. Create a new. Click on new. Just give a Swagger file name like get user underscore Swagger. Select runtime environment URL. So we have endpoint URL, right? This one. Copy this, paste it here. We should not uh, paste the entire thing, okay? Till here we have to paste. This is the actual URL. Under this, so API base path is this one. This is the base path. So under this we have a another path like users. From this in this user we have these details. Next, what we need to do. So accept is like application or JSON. So since it is in JSON format, right? So here I have given is an application with JSON format, and operation ID is there, right? You can just give the name. That's it. Okay, these are the fields you need to fill. Now save it. When you click on save, it will go to this URL and it will verify all these details. If it is correct, then it will save it. Otherwise, it will pop up an error. Save it. So Swagger saved successfully, which is nothing but the endpoint URLs are working correctly. Okay, close this. Now download this one. Download the Swagger file. So I have downloaded it. What is this Swagger file? Swagger helps users build, document, test, and consume RESTful web services. Swagger is a specification documentation for REST API. Okay, so it specifies the format, URL, and the method and representation to describe REST. So to create connection, we need to inform to that connection what methods we are using, what are the URL. So everything we need to inform to the REST v2 connection. So that's why all these details will be loaded into a one Swagger file. So when we attach this Swagger file to the REST connection, so it will validate all the connection details. So it's not like a simple direct connection, right? If you when you create this, you cannot just enter the local host and port. You cannot give directly the URLs. So for that we have a Swagger file. In Swagger file we need to configure all these connections and paths. Okay, whatever the token keys are available. So everything we need to create in Swagger file. And for this connection, we just attach this file to the connection, to the REST v2 connection. So it by default, Swagger file has been all validated, all the connection parameter tokens, authentication keys, everything, right? So REST v2 will just use this Swagger file to connect to the other clients applications. Swagger file is a JSON format file. It is mandatory to have Swagger file to configure IICS REST v2 connection to integrate with any REST APIs. Got it? Why we created the Swagger file?
Yes.
Yeah. Then create REST v2 connection and attach Swagger file. Now let's create the go to connections. Click on new REST v2 user. This is a connection type authentication standard. So here we just need to place the Swagger file path. Since we downloaded right now, so here I have downloaded. What I'll do, I'll just move into the source files. Okay, so this is the Swagger file now. So I'll give this path, give that path and the file name. Okay, so now test it. Test connection. So it is successfully able to connect to the Swagger file path. Save this one. Now you see we'll get a connection here. Test with the user. So now we created a REST v2 connection. Now what we need to do, create business service component. So go to IICS data integration. click on new, go to components. We have seen all these components, right? Hierarchical schema, incident structure model, fixed width, sequence, shared sequence.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
here we'll be having business service. Configure operations in a business service and then use the business service in a mapping with the web service transformation. So we need to create business service. This business service we will use in web service transformation. So click on create business service to get user details. So connection type REST to V2 user. Select operation. Click on this. Select this. So here we get a Swagger file. Okay. Click on this. Okay. Okay. So the operation has been selected. Save it. So we saved it. Now let's create a mapping. Web service transformation. Source. So here we don't have a source, right? So what we are doing here from web service, from web service, we are connecting to the application. We are connecting to the API here. To this API we are connecting. But what is
Yes.
the
Yes.
source in through web service? Will be connecting to the this API link, right? But source we don't have anything. So for that we need to create one dummy source. So how we can create it? Go here. Just create one text file. Okay. In that text file, just mention port and the URL. In Swagger file we have given right URL. So that URL paste it here. It says dummy, that's it. It will not do anything. So I'll select that one. Go to source. It's a flat file connection. Select. So web underscore user. So we don't have to format anything. Okay, just keep it at like that. So now we need to select web service transformation. Click on this. Select web service. Here you can see incoming is port. So we have mentioned port right in the sample file, dummy file. So web service, here it will say business service. So select business service which we have created. So business service get user right. Select operation. So it's a get user swagger. So in business service we have selected operation right. So that it will ask here. In advance we don't have to fill anything. Request mapping. So we need to map right. So mapping purpose we have created one dummy port. So we'll just map it. So it will not validate with source. From web service only the processing will start. So response mapping. What response you need to get. So what I'll do, I'll just click select all mapping descendants. So it will map all the descendants here. So this is the data, this is the actual data we need to get it. We need to load into the target table. So these are all roots, that's it. output fields. So these are all the three output groups are there. So which one we need to take? It is a data. So these are all the details, right? These are all the actual user details. These details we need to load into the target table. Now let us connect this to the target. Before this, you want to do any some cleansing operations, you can take expression and you can do it. Target. So when I connect, it will show which group you want to connect. So these are the three output groups, right? So which one we need to get? Data. So in this data group, we have the actual user details. So click on OK. Now go here, go to target. So it's a table, right? Select the table name. So I have already created. So these are the columns we have. So what I'll do, I'll just select the table, or you can create a runtime directly. Okay. So it's a insert operation. So these are the target fields and field mapping. So you can just do the smart map. So ID to ID, name, email, gender, status. So this PK root port, these are the default columns which will come from the link here. So mapping is done now. Save it. Mapping is valid. Let me run the mapping now. So basically it will take some time when compared to other mappings, right? So it will take more time than that because it has to go to the web service. Again, it has to go to the link and it need to verify all the data and it needs to be loaded into the target table. The 10
Okay, okay.
records has been loaded. We go here. See, it has loaded perfectly.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, in this way we can fetch the real-time data and we can load into the table and we can do some analysis on that and we can generate the reports at real time. It's almost like near to real time processing. Okay, in real time you will be having all live URLs. For that you will be having different authentications. Okay, so it will take time and we need to be very cautiously. We need to create the mapping so the business can they can generate the reports on the data which we pulled from the URLs APIs. Okay, so this is also entirely depending on the project. So most of all in CAA they will be using this REST connections more often than in CDA. But if you have a knowledge on this, then it is advantage uh, for you. Okay, so it is a one added advantage for IICS developers. So
Okay,
you
okay.
can say
Mm-hmm.
that yes, I have a knowledge on CA application like REST connections, how we can implement REST connections, how we can use web services. So you can say like this.
Only for getting the data, only we will use CI. Other than that, rest of all the transformations that we will use in CDI only, no?
Yes. Now
It's
when
for
you
only
try to interact with applications, either you want to get or either you want to do some calculations, either you want to
oh,
insert some data in applications, application level. So far in ISS, what we have seen in a table level or file level.
Yes, yes, exactly.
This is for application level. You want to insert something in the uh, uh, what do you say?
Application level.
Yeah, let's say your client is Amazon. Okay, you want to update something on their databases. So you will use IICS, this REST connections, to update some records in their application. So to update or to insert, so you will use these methods. Or you just need to fetch data and you want to load into a table and you need to do some operations, then you can use get method. Okay, like we discussed here, so there are 1998 tickets are available. If you want to, in between some has been cancelled and it needs to be increased, right? So it's like a altering data.
Yes, yes.
So how you can alter the data? By using put method. Okay. So depending on the scenario, we will use these methods.
Okay.
Mm. So yeah, this is all about web service transformation. So for the first time, it will be difficult for you. So just follow these 10 steps or you just memorize all these 10 steps. It will be very, very easy. Okay.
Yes, this 10 steps is crucial.
Mm.
Okay.